My dear students. I hope all of you are fine and doing well. So the topic that we will discuss today it is the compounds of carbon. As we have already learned about some properties of the carbon it is the element from the group 4A as it has 4 electrons in its valence shell and mainly it is a tetravalent. Tetravalent mean it can make the 4 bonds as its valency is 4 and it can make the covalent bond with the other elements and its one property we have which is catenation and due to the process of catenation or the property of catenation it can make a lot of compounds and it can also make a homologous series of different compounds. So here we will discuss about the different compounds of carbon. The first one we will discuss about the oxides of carbon, then we have halides or chlorides of the carbon, that how it can react with the halogen and how it can react with the oxygen. On the other hand, the exhaust from the automobiles, it is mainly having carbon dioxide, and here we have carbon and oxygen. It is the oxide of carbon. Here we have the DNA structure, it also contains carbon in it. Then we have methane, the gas that is used for the domestic purpose. It also contains carbon in it. On the other hand, ethanol or the alcohol, it also the hydrocarbon and containing the carbon in it. On the other hand, we have benzene. Its formula we have 868 C6H6. It also contain carbon in it as all these are known as the hydrocarbons, the compounds that contain hydrogen and carbon in them all are known as hydrocarbons. So let's discuss the first oxide of the carbon as carbon can combine with two oxygens and making the formula which is carbon dioxide CO2. It is carbon dioxide. When it reacts with only one atom of oxygen, it makes the compound of carbon which is CO, carbon monoxide. Monoxide mean one oxygen atom and dioxide mean it's combining with two oxygen atoms. So here we have the CO which is the carbon monoxide and we have CO2 which is the carbon dioxide. So here we will discuss about the structure of the carbon dioxide. On the other hand, the carbon can also be changes into the carbon suboxide. Third one form we have carbon suboxide. But the last one or this one carbon suboxide it is having the little importance. So here we will just discuss about the two oxides of carbon which is carbon dioxide and carbon monoxides. So let's discuss first the structure of the carbon dioxide. When we have a look on the structure of the carbon dioxide in this, we can see that the carbon dioxide mainly exists in the gaseous state. So the physical state is the gaseous state as its form molecular formula we have CO2. Carbon dioxide makes a structure. This structure we call as linear structure or linear molecule. You can see that here we have the carbon. It is having 4 electrons in its valence shell. It can combine with the two oxygen atom by sharing of the two electrons from each oxygen atoms and making a linear molecule like C is having as it shared two electrons, so making a double bond with the oxygen on the both sides. So this is the linear structure of the carbon dioxide. If we just observe here the bond distance between carbon and oxygen. So this bond distance here we have almost 115 picometer. So the bond distance here we have 115 picometer and it is in agreement with the structure shown. On the other hand, the solid carbon dioxide, it is present the gaseous state, but we can also convert it into the solid state. The carbon dioxide, when it's present in the solid state, it is having the structure which is face-centered cubic structure. Face-centered cubic structure. How face-centered cubic structure is made? So we can also make it like this. If we have this type of structure and this face is the front we are going to show, this is known as the face-centered cubic structure of the carbon dioxide. as being it is a linear, so it's, it is known as, when we have a look on its dipole moment is almost zero because it is linear and cancelling the effect on the both sides. So that's why its dipole moment we can call it zero. In this structure, you can see there are two types of electrons. The electrons that are shared between two atoms, these are known as the shared pair of electrons or the bonded electrons. But on the other hand, electrons that are present on the oxygen atom and not being shared, these electrons are mainly known as lone pairs. Or the definition for lone pairs, we have the electrons that are not going to participate in the bonding are known as mainly the lone pairs, or they are just over the atom as a dotted line, or we can also show them with the cross. Then we have the structure of the carbon monoxide. This is the oxide of the carbon in which just carbon combine with the one oxygen atom, the making the double bond with the oxygen atom. So here we have the carbon monoxide. It can be written as CO. Carbon monoxide is mainly a diatomic molecule. Diatomic means it is having two atoms. One is carbon and the other is oxygen. So it is a diatomic molecule consisting of carbon and oxygen, and it is having double, or you can say that triple bond between carbon and oxygen. And to some extent, it is called as slightly polar in nature. Why it is called polar in nature? Because as the electronegativity of oxygen is more as compared to the carbon, and it also has lone pair over it. And the electronic structure for the carbon monoxide is we have this. We can also draw it by ourselves as carbon has 4 electrons in its valence shell, and the oxygen will share its 2 electrons, the one over there. So this is the simple electronic structure. It is represented by making this electron dot and cross structure. It just might appear from this structure that the molecules should have large dipole moment. Their dipole moment should be large, but in fact, its dipole moment is very small and its value is almost 0.112 dB. D is showing the unit of the dipole moment, and we can also show that with carbon double bond, the oxygen is having partial negative charge and carbon is having partial positive, and carbon is having partial negative charge because it has electrons. So this was the simple structure of the carbon monoxide, that how the oxides of the carbon exist in nature. I hope you guys understand, and if you have any queries you may ask me about that in the comment section. And the next topic we will discuss about the compounds of the silicon, which is the second member of the group 4A elements in the periodic table. For that time, you guys keep learning and have a good